forces would interrupt the goals that he had long imagined as a junior ski jumper. But after he served his country in the Vietnam War, his skier development service to the sport of USA ski jumping and Nordic combined and cross country was only the beginning. This induction focuses on Tom's contribution as a Nordic ski sports builder, a loved junior ski jumping coach by both skiers and parents alike, and as an early administrator role for what we now fortunately know as USA Nordic. Some of the highlights. Tom was first certified as a level 1 ski jumping coach in 1981. He published the Nordic Flyer, which was a ski jumping news magazine for ski jumping and Nordic combined. 1982, he became a level 1 cross country coach and appointed to the Ski Hill Engineering Committee. He was also the founding member of the Great Lakes Challenge Series, America's first cross-country race series in the United States. 1983, he became a certified level 2 ski jump coach. Is it annoying? Can you hear me? Okay, good. He also worked for the U.S. Ski Coaches Association, giving level 1 certification clinics. He rebuilt ski jumps and the ski jumping certification program and wrote the basic coaches manual, which is in still use today. He conducted coaches clinics throughout the Midwest and also was appointed to the U.S. ski team as a Nordic combined assistant coach Midwest in 1984. He wrote sport manuals on ski jumping promotion, club formation, and skier recruitment. He conducted coaches clinics throughout Winter Park, Steamboat Springs, Lake Placid, New York, Laconia, New Hampshire. In 1985, he became a certified level 3 jump coach and was hired by the U.S. ski team to run the U.S. Coaches Association program for jumping and Nordic combined. In that year, in 1985, he was awarded the United States Coaches Association Nordic Coach of the Year. In 1986, he continued working as a National Ski Jumping and Nordic Combined Development Coordinator. He reactivated ski jumping in the Pacific Northwest, especially in Leavenworth, Washington, along with the Cascade Ski Club in Mount Hood, Oregon, putting new ski jumps in line, ski jumping programs, and certifying coaches. In 1987, he was issued the Level 4 Master's Certification for ski jumping coach and Nordic combined coach. He wrote a 200-page comprehensive athletic training manual. In 1988, as I was exiting as the head coach of the ski team, he was hired as the national program director for Nordic combined and ski jumping to aid in that transition. He worked for the Salt Lake Olympic Committee on ski jump selection site and did the initial surveying and ski jump layout for the Bear Mountain Hollow site. He was also the competition manager for the U.S. Olympic Trials in Lake Placid. In 1989, he was program director for U.S. ski jumping and Nordic combined, and Tom's was a key staff member in the support of helping coaches and athletes reach the goals that they achieved in 1989. He also served as a traveling coach, went to Japan in 1990 for the Sapporo Pacific Rim Cup, where Chris Severson took a 3rd place, and I believe, if I'm correct, that was the highest finish ever in Japan since Greg Soares' 2nd place in the pre-Olympics in 1971. Yeah. Tom went on to coach his 2 boys, Eric and Patrick, in ski jumping and in Nordic combined. He now enjoys a retirement life with his wife Sarah and continues to help the effort in preserving our sport as a historical contributor. One comment was made by a young junior coach that's not a junior anymore, and I have a quote. He said, "Tom was one of the best positive mental health minds for coaching us junior skiers. He was a pioneer in getting junior ski clubs to work together with the U.S. ski team." I am very proud to welcome Tom Daggett to the American Ski Jumping Hall of Fame.
It is quite fitting that the American Ski Jumping Museum be housed in the birthplace of North American ski jumping here in Red Wing, Minnesota. Red Wing, along with early major sites Duluth, Ironwood, Ishpeming, Chippewa Falls, Stoughton, and many others, gave our ski jumping family a rich and colorful heritage of which we all can be proud. Few sports can match it. I would like to thank the American Ski Jumping Museum Board of Directors Executive Committee for my acceptance into the ranks of the Hall of Fame, and a special thank you to Brian Sanders for nominating me. I'm glad to see many of my friends and accomplices in crime here tonight. Thank you for your support for the Hall of Fame class of 2022. In March 1988, Greg Winsberger and I were staying in a $400 a night hotel in Oslo when Greg told me he wanted to retire and move on with his family and his life. At that time, I was working as sport development director and handling coaches' education. So when all the dust settled, the entire ski team staff, Rex Bell, Erling Rundslatten, Jeff Hastings, Doug Peterson, they all retired. Not through any special talents or qualifications, I was the only one left standing in the room. So I inherited Greg's former job as program director by default. No one could replace Greg Winsberger, certainly not me. Greg had hired a world-class coach to take the reins of the national team, Dalibor Motilek from Karakov. Dalibor and I hit it off day one. Our first trip to Europe started in Hinterzart and was followed by training in Kandersteg. It was in Kandersteg I first was introduced to the U.S. ski team hijinks. Apparently in the year before, Mike Holland, Tad Langlois, Mark Konopak, and others took a Subaru, went down to the nearest Swiss metropolis, Spies, swiped a tennis net from a nearby park, and used the net to capture a duck in a nearby pond.
I was part of that. Yep. That was fun.
Bundling the duck in a sheet, they took it back to Kandersteg, opening Winnie's and Erling's door, and threw the duck in the room. The duck had a quacking fit, but everyone in the guest house collapsed laughing when they heard Winnie yell, "Get the duck out of here!"
And a fish. We had a fish too.
On the way out of Kandersteg, Mike Holland made Dalibor stop at a local souvenir shop and purchased a crystal duck statue with those famous words on it, engraved on it. I would guess the duck trophy's in Winnie's home somewhere. Working with the athletes was my greatest joy. Their dedication, along with tremendous work ethic, taught them many lessons they have used and are still using today. One of the things that I realized I really enjoyed working for Greg Winsberger was my ability to travel around to many former ski jumping complexes. I would get to meet the old timers, discuss their club's current situation, and what could be done to help reactivate their ski jumps and jumping programs. In some places, we were successful. Leavenworth, Washington, Rumford, Maine, Boreal Ridge, California, to name a few. In other places, the seeds were planted that took time to sprout. The best example would be Berlin, New Hampshire. We got to experiment with unusual situations. I was invited to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, to Ober-Gatlinburg, to discuss ski jumps in their alpine area. The wildest was Steve Wynn's idea of building a scaffolding ski jump down the north side of the Mirage Casino in Las Vegas. The hill would have been covered with plastic. He wanted to feature Eddie the Eagle as the headliner, with our American boys training along the Eagle. My involvement with the American ski jumping family has been one of the highlights of my life. I want to thank you all for being here with this celebration of the Daggett family.